In this short video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the requirements for the preliminary design report, which is due in week 5. This is a major group assessment for your design project. We have already provided you with a very detailed guideline for you to prepare for the report. In addition, we also provided a detailed rubrics in terms of how we are going to grade your report. So in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview in terms of the specific requirements for each section of the report. The first section of your report is introduction. Many students find it very challenging to write a good introduction. You can imagine this scenario. Imagine that this is the very first time you will meet me and your demonstrator. Because we didn't know each other before, you have a very limited amount of time to introduce yourself and to sell us your project. In order to do that, there are 3 things you need to do. Firstly, you need to give us an outline of the background of your project. In other words, you want to set up a stage where you can sell your idea. Secondly, you should justify the significance of your projects. Because we offer you multiple project topics, you need to convince us the significance of your chosen project. In other words, why did you choose to do this project? What convinced you to be the significance of this project? Thirdly, you need to give us some instructions, some guidance in terms of how should we read the remainder of your report. In other words, you need to describe to us the organization and structure of your report. The second section of your report is called market research. In this section, you need to conduct research in 3 steps. First of all, you want to describe to us who are your target customers and who are the relevant stakeholders. In the lectures and tutorials, we are going to teach you the distinction between these 2 notions, target customers and relevant stakeholders. In your report, you need to describe in details and specifics who are the target customers and who are the relevant stakeholders of your chosen project. Secondly, based on your target customers and relevant stakeholders, you need to follow the course taught methods to solicit their voices, their needs, their wants. We are going to teach you different methods, such as interview, such as observation, such as online customer review, such as survey, such as lead user theory. It is your choice for each group to decide which method or methods, 1 method, 2 methods, you are going to follow to solicit voices from your target customers as well as relevant stakeholders. Finally, you should try to contextualize your customer voices against the ongoing or even emerging social and technological trend. The reason why you want to do that is so that you can identify some innovation opportunities. For example, one of the ongoing social contexts right now is the global pandemic. How does this social trend affect your project? How does it affect how your product will be designed? In the lectures, we are also going to give you some ongoing technological trends, such as Industry 4.0, such as 3D printing. You should, as much as you possibly can, you should contextualize your project to identify the innovation opportunity. The next section of your report is called functional requirements. Basically, you as engineers, you need to translate the fuzzy customer voices into engineering language, into something that can be fully understood by engineers. This is what we call functional requirements. In the lectures and tutorials, we are going to give you some specific principles, design principles that you can follow to formulate such functional requirements. And the functional requirements together constitute a very specific engineering design problem you can solve at a later stage. So after you have a collection of functional requirements, you can follow the design methods such as Kano customer model and long tail model to classify your functional requirements into different categories. Next, you can also organize your functional requirements into a hierarchy. So the hierarchy, this is a house that you can use to accommodate your functional requirements according to their dependency relationships and their abstraction levels. Finally, in this section, you should also specify some design constraints that's related to your project. In practice, it is often difficult for engineers to differentiate between functional requirements and design constraints. In short, functional requirements are the driver of your design. Design constraints, on the other hand, are the limitation of your design. The next section of the report is called QFD and House of Quality. Basically, based on the customer voices you collected, as well as the functional requirements you formulated, you are going to follow the process of QFD, quality function deployment, to develop a house of quality. This house of quality is intended to accommodate your list of customer needs and your list of functional requirements. And most importantly, you want to indicate the dependency relationship between your customer needs and your functional requirements. In addition, if you have sufficient information and data, you can also perform a benchmarking of your product against the competitors' product that are available on the open market. We will provide you with a template for the house of quality in the format of an Excel document. You can use that to organize your information. Section 5 of the report is arguably the most important part of this whole report. So based on your customer voices and based on your functional requirements, you as designers, you should create multiple design concepts to satisfy the functional requirements and satisfy the customer needs. We are going to teach you a collection of different methods for you as a group and as individuals to generate as many ideas as you possibly can. At this stage, we do not expect you to arrive at one single concept. Instead, we encourage you to divert your thinking as much as you possibly can to consider different options, different alternatives. In the lectures and tutorials, we are going to teach you different methods, such as method 635, collaborative sketching, brainstorming, for you to divert your thinking. We are going to teach you morphological chart so that you can organize different ideas in different ways towards different integrated concepts. And we are going to teach you to follow the biologically inspired design process to guide inspirations from biological systems to improve your engineering solutions. And once you have multiple design concepts generated, you should also use sketching to visualize your design concepts. So in section 6 of your report, we expect you to conduct some reflections of the challenges you as a group faced during the project process. And we also expect you to provide a very concrete and very actionable plan for the remainder of the semester towards a successful completion of the project. So you can do that in the format of a Gantt chart. So this is a project schedule and planning. Finally, in section 7, you are going to draw some conclusions, preliminary conclusions for the project based on your research findings so far. And you can also outline briefly the work you are going to conduct in the remainder of the semester. Here, it's very important that you clearly differentiate between the introduction, abstract, and conclusion. Because in practice, we often observed that many students, they find it difficult to clearly differentiate among introduction, abstract, and conclusion. In addition, I also want to suggest you to include any raw materials you may generate during the tutorials, during the group meetings, and include them in the appendix of the report. Because in the report, not only we are interested in your design outcomes, but also we are interested in your design process. So by including the raw materials, like the sketches, like the brainstorming notes, you are able to convince the reviewers that you actually did substantial amount of work to arrive at your design outcome. So this is a very short overview of the requirements for this design report. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us, and hopefully your report will go smoothly.